My name is Dave Coward. I'm the president of GCCI, and welcome. Want to welcome you to this facility to begin with. And we have a lot to thank for June Russo at the end there. She's the one that's put this all together. A month ago, this was nothing but a blank slate. Empty, completely empty. So what you see, she has done in the past month. So thank you very much, June. And she'll be talking a little bit later about what we hope to do with this facility. I'm joined with Isabel Peterson, who's on our director on our board. June is at the end there. I just mentioned her. The back table, we have Terry King, who's our secretary, along with Dale McKinney, who's our Parks and Rec director. And okay, online we have Jerry Stevenson, who's vice president, and our new director, Michael DeRosa. Oh, hey Roberta. We're just starting. That's okay.
I guess if there's ever an interruption, I'll just continue since this meeting's recorded. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So I was saying thank you for everyone being here tonight. Thank you for inviting me to come speak with you about this really, really fun topic of dark sky community certification. That's not all I'm going to talk about tonight. Really, I'm going to give kind of an overview of what Dark Sky International does for those of you who may not be familiar with our organization, or you may learn something new, but kind of take you through what we call a Dark Sky 101, and just kind of giving, like I said, an overview of what Dark Sky does and what we can do for you in trying to get your certification. So I'm going to share my screen. And can you, no, that's the wrong screen, I think. This one.
We saw it a minute ago.
Okay.
This one.
All right, perfect. So again, my name is Michael Reimer. I'm the program associate for Dark Sky International. And I love this job because I love the stars. I love astronomy. I love looking up and wondering what is all going on out in the universe. So I'm part of a couple astronomy clubs. I live in Denver, Colorado, so I'm part of that one. I'm from Dallas, Texas, so I'm the vice president of that club, and I can handle doing that remotely. Don't worry, but I'm a huge space enthusiast. So I understand that there are folks in the audience tonight who are similar astronomy buffs, so I want to play a quick video that I think everybody will find humorous. Please let me know if this is working and the sound is playing.
The stargazers would let me look through one of the telescopes, right?
Stargazers?
Yeah, the senior citizen stargazing group.
Okay, but it's still cloudy.
I'm pretty sure telescopes can look through clouds.
Except no.
Hello, I was wondering if we could just, take a peek through one of your lovely telescopes. I'm thinking that one.
No chance, Chester. Bring your own expensive and delicate telescope.
Yeah, hit the bricks, Billy.
Stargazer code. No pouters.
Dilettantes. Okay, thank you both.
You can look through mine.
Oh, great. I love the red flashlights.
That's so we don't get bright light in our eyes. It can take hours for our vision to adjust to the dark. That's why we call this the red light district. Here's mine.
Oh, I was really hoping to look through one of the bigger ones.
No.
Teddy.
Well, it's aimed at the right spot, and it's a telescope, so we just have to wait for the clouds to clear, then we'll look right through here.
Oh, you can't look through clouds?
No.
Can any of these?
No.
Oh.
I told him that.
So both eyes open?
What? No. One eye open.
And which eye?
Really? The one looking through the telescope.
Got it. And what do you do with the other eye?
Are you serious? You close it, Teddy.
Like you're winking.
Winking or blinking?
Winking. You're blinking.
I'm blinking?
You keep the one eye open all the time.
Oh, like I'm winking. Why didn't you just say that, Bob? Jeez. Oops, that came off. I'll put it back. Where'd it go?
No.
What?
Turn it off! Oh, sorry.
It was adjusted perfectly. You son of...
So that I'm sure we all at one time or another were those people, or have worked with those people to share the love of stargazing with others. And yeah, we take for granted how much we know about the practice of using a telescope to look at the stars. And of course, in that clip, very funny comments about seeing through clouds and how they prevent our view of the heavens. Tonight, obviously, we're not talking about clouds. We're talking about something I feel that is worse about obstructing our view of the cosmos, and that's light pollution. So, my question I always hear about, or hypothetically, so what about light pollution? What would I care? I grew up in Dallas, and so very bright urban and suburban areas. Not a lot of dark skies. Lots of places in Texas throughout the state. Houston, Austin, San Antonio, big urban hubs. So I didn't grow up with many dark skies apart from the occasional road trip. So light pollution has always been a part of my life, and it's a part of most of the world's life these days. But what is light pollution? So first, we define it as simply the inappropriate or excessive use of artificial light at night. And this has so many impacts in our world, human health, wildlife health, and of course, our climate. A recent Globe at Night study found that light pollution is increasing at a rate of 10% every year. And we expect that rate to increase continually in the coming years. This study found that someone born today would be able to see on average 250 stars in the night sky, but when they reached their 18th birthday, they would only be able to see 100. So that's how quickly light pollution is growing worldwide. So let's talk about the types of light pollution and what it does to harm us and our environments. There are 3 types of light pollution that we recognize. Sky glow is the one that we astronomers do not like because it diminishes the darkness of our night sky and causes us to lose sight of the stars. Glare is excessive brightness that causes visual discomfort. For example, improperly shielded lights or bright LED billboards that give a blinding sensation to us at night while we drive. I think we've all probably experienced that, where our view of the road ahead of us is obstructed because of bright lights shining in our faces, and that is very, very dangerous. And then there's light trespass, which is light falling where it's not intended nor needed. So how many of us know a neighbor or a street light that has a bright light shining into our homes, into our living rooms, into our bedrooms, keeping us up at night, having to draw the curtains, to prevent that light from coming in? That's called light trespass, and that's, as far as I'm concerned, not being a very good neighbor. Exhibit A here is my neighbor's light from my backyard. They are clearly at home. So is there a need for that bright light to be even on? And does it need to shine into my backyard? Not necessarily. So this is an example of a very egregious light that is too bright. The light is too white, and it's not shielded. So it's really doing no one any good here. So what? We know there's types of light pollution, but what does that matter? Like I said, we could draw our blinds, any light shining in our face. Okay, that is uncomfortable for a little bit. Who cares? And maybe I don't care about the stars. Well, there's more to it than just those things. So we are more than just about seeing stars. We care about health. We care about human health. We care about the health of our world. As we saw with light trespass, light coming into our homes at night can disrupt our sleep patterns. And this disrupts our circadian rhythm, that is our body's natural tendency to sleep at night. So light shining in our face, keeping us up at night, we can't rest. Our minds and bodies cannot sleep and heal. And so we are prone to sickness. There's many studies being done on this that link light pollution to a lot of very, very dangerous long-term illnesses. Light pollution, of course, also affects our fellow Earthlings. Many animals rely on the natural light of the moon and the stars to live. For example, this little guy here, a newly hatched sea turtle, look to the moon and stars over the ocean to navigate in their home. But if a nearby town's lights are brighter than those objects, then they may find themselves following that light instead and tragically never making it to the water. Birds, bats, and insects, of course, also depend on the light from moons and stars to navigate as well during migratory periods throughout the year. But of course, if bright lights like the one shown here are on during those crucial times, these creatures will become lost and trapped and never make it to their destination. So the ecological implications of this for us, is that these animals are pollinators. They're useful. And if they cannot pollinate the food that we depend on, then we are in big trouble. And this video here shows these are birds, not insects. These are birds trapped in beams of light. There are also profound environmental impacts from light pollution. As we have seen, there's growing concern about global climate change and energy used on wasted light. Now, of course, these days, as we learn more about LED technology and how efficient they are, yeah, there is something to that these fixtures use less energy. However, when we inundate our communities with an overabundance of LED lights, we're not really saving that much. We're still putting too much light into our neighborhoods and our cities and towns. And so we're not really saving on the energy that these new fixtures allow us to. And not to mention, of course, all of the wasted light that is still being put out into the sky. So yeah, while we might have more energy efficient technologies, we're still not using it responsibly. I talked about glare earlier. That's all well and good, but don't we need to protect our roads, homes, and businesses at night? Well, yeah, sure, but there's a way to do it responsibly. And when we outfit our homes and businesses and roads with fixtures that are not safe, and they put light into our eyes that make us unable to drive safely or unable to identify someone who may be lurking in the dark, as it is, that light becomes useless. It's causing more harm than good. So what it comes down to is using the light responsibly. And finally, cultural heritage is huge. The night sky to us has always been there. It's been a friend. It's been a source of entertainment. It's been a source of timekeeping and knowing our place in the world and the cosmos, as we know when the seasons come because of the constellations in the sky. And when we lose sight of that, literally, we lose a piece of our cultural heritage. We lose our humanity. So these are the things that light pollution does and takes away from us. And we want to get those things back. Okay, so what do I do? Well, what if you absolutely need a light at your home or business? What changes can we make at home that we can contribute to further research into the issue of light pollution? Well, it's perfect to start small and to start at home. The change in the world starts with you. So first, I want to introduce everybody to the 5 principles for responsible outdoor lighting. Some of you may already know these, but just real quickly, I'll go through them. It's important to do an inventory of all exterior light fixtures at home to determine if they all adhere to these 5 principles. You can see here, we want to ask if the light is useful. Is it targeted at what it's meant to be illuminating? How bright is it? The intensity. Is it controlled? Is it always on? Does it ever turn off on its own? Or can it turn on its own? And then the color temperature, and I'll explain what that is. So first, is it useful? When we look at an outdoor light at home, first thing we want to ask, do I need it? If we don't need it, it's probably not, it doesn't need to be on at all. It could be even removed if you wanted to. If you do need it, well, continue on to second principle. If it's needed, we want to only direct the light at what we want to illuminate. My neighbor's light does not need to illuminate my back patio. I didn't ask for that, so it's not necessary. They want to only direct the light at the ground because that's what we stand on. That's the part we traverse. We don't need to illuminate our neighbors' yards. The street has plenty of lights on it as well. It's just not necessary. So shield the lights, be efficient with where the light is going. The third principle is intensity, or how bright it is, really. We want to dim the light to the lowest possible setting that still illuminates the space, but is not overpowering. So looking at the wattage and the lumen output of our fixtures, this can easily be determined because a bright light in the darkness is not necessary. It's overpowering. A little light goes a really, really long way. Then we want to make sure that we have control of our lights through dimmers, timers, motion detectors. All these things give us greater control over our lights rather than leaving them on all night long and thinking we'll turn them off, or just not caring if they're on because we forgot or we don't really pay attention. And finally, color temperature is something that we really want to pay attention to when we buy bulbs, because these are the things that determine how intense the energy from the light is coming into our eyes. You may notice in headlights nowadays are very bright, light bluish color, and it really hurts when they're pointed directly into your face, as opposed to the more yellowish light. Now, no light into your eyes and directly into your eyes is fun, but the intensity of the light color is less so when it's more amber yellowy color. And it's harmful to not just us, but to species of birds and insects too. But ultimately, what we want to do is no light at all. So if you absolutely have to have a light, follow these 5 principles, and they are probably in the brochures that you have on hand there. So if you want more information about these 5 principles, certainly look there, as well as our website. And so here's kind of a temperature scale. Lower temperature is around the 1000 range. We recommend for 2700 Kelvin, which is how you measure color temperature. 4000 and higher is not advised at all, but we want to keep it around the 3000, 2700 Kelvin range. And then here's just a graphic of all of these principles being used kind of together and showing what is less and less acceptable, and then what is the best option here. Having a shielded light on a timer or a motion sensor that adheres to all 5 principles properly. So what else can you do though, beyond just taking an inventory of your home? You can work in your community, which you guys already are doing. So, I want to applaud you all for being here tonight. You are taking this step. But if you aren't an advocate or a member of Dark Sky International, I certainly invite you to do that. Become an advocate, become part of our mailing lists where you will get monthly updates on things for meetings and such. Join a network of advocates around the world, and kind of learn more from their experiences and tips and tricks on how to make changes where you live and work. We have some annual events, International Dark Sky Week, where it's just a week-long celebration of outreach and education about dark skies. Next year, Dark Sky Week will be from April 2nd to April 8th. And if you recognize April 8th, that is, of course, the total solar eclipse coming through a large part of the United States. So next year's International Dark Sky Week will be ending on a high note for sure. We also have a global conference. This is a virtual conference that is 24 hours in November, November 3rd and 4th, where we will have speakers give presentations about their experiences in dark sky work concerning astro-tourism, policy engagement, community engagement, all sorts of great content. I certainly invite you all to join us then. It's a fun experience to network with people from all around the world. And then the Capture the Dark photo contest, with which we just wrapped up last month, where if you are a photographer and take pictures of the night sky, you can submit your work for a chance to win prizes from Dark Sky and sponsors. So definitely go to our website to see all of the very beautiful photos that were submitted this year. That is capturethedark.darksky.org for more information on that contest. And then, of course, participating in Globe at Night. I mentioned earlier how we know the rate of increasing light pollution throughout the world. That study was Globe at Night, and that's a citizen science campaign that raises awareness on the impact of light pollution. And all you need is a smartphone that has access to the internet. So if you wanted to scan this QR code with your phone, it takes you to the web page, and it's very easy to do. All you have to do is look at a constellation from where you are that is recognizable and just count how many stars there are. It's very fun. It's a great way to get people involved, and it does a lot towards research for dark sky awareness. Some other ideas we have on our International Dark Sky Week website. I invite you to either go to this link here or, again, scan this QR code. There's just some more great ideas to get people engaged, not just during International Dark Sky Week, but all the time throughout the year, on how to get people more aware of dark skies, but in a very fun way. So what does the future of the dark sky movement look like? What are the goals of our organizations, and how do individuals like you contribute to that? Well, as we talked about earlier, we used to be the International Dark Sky Association, or IDA, and we started in 1988. And since then, we have led the global charge against the threat of light pollution. But now we are Dark Sky International, so we have a new name, a new look, and we want to build on what we've done in the past to do even more in the future. So here are our programs. We have dark sky approved lighting fixtures for lighting manufacturers and distributors to advertise essentially dark sky friendly lighting. We have the International Dark Sky Places program, which the dark sky community certification comes from. We have advancing responsible outdoor lighting and light pollution education coming down the pike as well. So lots of great things coming, but a lot of great things already in the works. So what now? Armed with this knowledge and hopefully some inspiration, what are you going to do? Well, I know you're already doing it. You're part of a great community that is working towards a certification. So you guys are already on a great track, and I'm proud of you guys. I hope you're proud of yourselves. You guys are doing great work, and I cannot wait for when y'all's community is announced as a fully certified International Dark Sky community, because we want you to be. We want as many of these places designated in the world as possible. So we're always excited when a new application comes through. We want to work with you as much as possible to make sure that you are successful in achieving your goals, because your goals are our goals, and that's really what it comes down to. So we love seeing success like this. Thank you for your time. I hope I didn't take too much time. I do apologize. But if you have any questions for me, Isabel has my contact information, but this is my email, michael.reimer@darksky.org. I am happy to answer any and all questions for you. If I don't have the answers, I will certainly find them or point you in the right direction to the person who will have your answers. So thank you again for everything you're doing. Thank you for coming tonight and letting me meet with you. Thank you so much. I'll be happy to take some questions. I believe you're muted in the room there.
Okay.
Do you have any questions? I thank you, Michael. That
Yes,
was
of
absolutely
course.
wonderful. Any questions? Yes.
Dark sky communities do we have in Arizona, or just is there a number or like a goal that we're trying to get to be at a certain percentage?
Could you hear this, Michael?
Yeah, so I think the question was how many dark sky communities are in Arizona? And then
Right.
is there a number that we're trying to hit?
Right.
Okay. So in Arizona, I'd have to look real fast, and I can find this. Arizona has a ton, obviously, because that's where we are based out of, in Tucson. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Arizona has 8 communities, but they have also parks, sanctuaries, as well. So I think there are close to 20, if not a little over 20, dark sky places in Arizona. As far as a magic number that we want to hit, everywhere, really. I mean, if every community, every municipality, every park, every square footage of the state could be certified to have dark sky friendly lighting everywhere, that's the goal, you know. So there's no magic number, no percentage, I would say. If every light outside of in Arizona was dark sky friendly, that would make us all weep in joy.
I can tell you that if we get this designation here in Gold Canyon, we will be the first dark sky community in Pinal County. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And hopefully many more to follow. So we're hoping to inspire other communities to follow, obviously.
Okay. Anybody online? Glenn, you had a question. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
Yes, I've been hiking in the Supes, in fact, beyond where the park is now. And there's one time I luckily maybe saved me, but I ran out of lights and I had to walk back, and I was able to walk back because of some light that was coming from Gilbert or Mesa. And I was just wondering if there's some way, is there a reporting mechanism that you could do? And, you know, I think this was a ballpark or something, but it was enough that I could see the trail on the way back.
Mm-hmm. So we do have a program that I didn't list, the outdoor sport and lighting program, where we tackle issues like that with public recreation spaces for baseball, football, soccer fields, you know, outdoor recreation, because those are big issues. You know, they're big offenders for light pollution, because those sometimes they'll stay on all night for no reason when no one's playing. So, you know, in your community, if you have an ordinance, you know, it's certainly worth taking that up with the, you know, with the municipality, the city planner, managers, whoever really is in charge of kind of enforcing light pollution policies, to say, hey, this is a problem because we're seeing this light from very far away. So there are certainly measures to take, and that would be something that is taken care of locally. But if they want to get outdoor sport lighting kind of certification from us, we do have people on staff that can come and work with your community, with your local leaders on getting those light fixtures compliant.
And Glenn, if I may jump in here real quick, we all know the park in question, right? It's absolutely terrible. The problem with enforcement is that it's not in our county; it's in the neighboring county.
I see.
Maricopa County.
Understood.
And the good news is it just went bankrupt.
Oh.
sorry, sports fans. You know,
Yeah, sure.
A bankruptcy on anybody, but it went bankrupt. So we don't know what's going to happen with this. A couple of weeks ago, the lights were on. I noticed driving back, but overall, it seems to be a lot less light coming from that offending site. Okay,
That's
so
good.
we'll see what we can do in the future with that.
Yeah.
Anybody else online with a question? If not, any more questions from the audience? Yes, sir.
What are some suggestions or hints or something to the most successful way to approach a neighbor or somebody to quell their lighting a little bit?
Sure. So we do have a document which I feel like is outdated, and to me feels a little passive aggressive, because I don't want to say go write a letter and stick it in their mailbox. I feel like that's a little bit too impersonal. It may be taken the wrong way. We want to be good neighbors ourselves, you know. So if someone has a light that is offensive, you know, like my neighbors, it's best to handle in a neighborly way, you know, say, hey, because more likely than not, they don't know, you know. So always approach it with the fact that your neighbor might be unaware, I don't want to say ignorant, that sounds mean, but just unaware that their lights are, not friendly to you. They're trespassing. So just to say, hey, I appreciate you wanting to keep the neighborhood safe, your property safe, if that's what the goal is here. But I just want to let you know that your light is coming into our property. And so we don't feel like it's doing everything that you want it to do. So just kind of
But
approach it in
to
a way
answer your
that,
question here locally, one of the
I may have frozen on you guys, but you go ahead.
he's trying. One of the aspects of having our plan to become a dark sky community, there's a community education function part of that. So that's something.
Oh, I think we lost them again. Well, so anyway, so just approaching it in a way is helpful, saying, hey, I got an idea, if you want to hear what we can do to maybe improve your fixture, save some money, save some hassle, things like that. Don't just throw stones and say, hey, your light is killing me, man. Like, you got to do something about it, or else I'm going to write a letter to the HOA or the city or something. Definitely don't want to be aggressive, because you catch more, flies with sugar than salt, or whatever the whatever the idiom is.
And not one person, like your light is too bright, and just with a measurement.
Sorry, Mike, we we lost you there for a minute.
No, not a problem. But I was just saying, to approach a neighbor, you always want to do it in a friendly manner and offer to help improve the lights, offer some new information that they may not know.
Right. And what I shared to the audience here when you were out is part of the application program it's on us to put in place some educational functions.
Certainly.
To make people aware of all these issues. Because like
Absolutely.
you said, people just don't understand the concept of talking about yet.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So I know you have to go, Mike. So we'll let you go, and we have Bill here for a local take on things. So thanks again, Mike, for coming.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes, of course. And I'm waiting on a phone call to happen, so I'll hang out until that comes through. So not a problem, but I'll let you guys continue on. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
Wonderful. And so now,
Well,
Bill
thank you.
Shaheen.
Before we start, I'd like to add another perspective as far as neighbors that have outrageous flood.
Sure.
I've been doing this for 30 years since I was back in Pittsburgh, and one of the lessons I learned was getting to know your neighbors up front. When I moved into and part of that Toro, I was one of the newbie, but there were other people moving in, and I would talk about astronomy in our club and things like that, so that whenever the lighting never got to be an issue. And I think in general, whether it's lighting or anything else, don't wait till you have a problem with your neighbor to make it a problem. Go ahead and get to know them. Okay.
Spread the word, everybody, talk to your neighbors.
Yes, absolutely. On here, I'm gonna exit. I was in the Zoom meeting. Okay. Is it a go?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Go.
great. Thanks, everyone. I tell you what, this is really a pleasure and an honor for me to be here. I've been living in Gold Union since 2004. Okay? And step by step, I moved from Pittsburgh, Phoenix to George Phoenix, and then into Gold Canyon. First it was Mountain Brook Village, and then Peralta Trails, and I kept moving towards the dark sky. So after Peralta Trails, I wanted to be there, and this is a culmination for me of a long trip and it's not over. Okay, anyhow. I'm gonna read from my scripture to the extent, now, do you have this up there?
No, will you tell me?
To read to you, to introduce you, to us. You know, who we are, what we do, a little bit of how we do it and why we do it. It's, I'm proud to be here representing the organization. Do you have that up? Oh, good. Okay.
Everybody online see it?
Scroll down to Superstition, non-astronomical. And we'll read what I just talked about. The club is a group of amateur astronomers living in the Gold Canyon Apache Junction area. We were organized somewhere around 2008, November 18th to be exact. We had our first star party at the Fallen Trails Community Center. But we then expanded that role and mission to widen and deepen our impact and effect on the community. So at first we were the Fallen Trails Astronomical Club, and then we escalated that to become the Gold Canyon Astronomical League. We purposely chose not to call it Gold Canyon Astronomical League. We call it Superstition, not Astronomical League. Specifically because we didn't want to have it narrowed to Gold Canyon or Apache Junction. We wanted it to be Superstition Mountain area. And I'm going to read the mission and purpose of the league, although I wrote it, but it's been since 2009. Since the founding was on the date of what's called the vernal equinox, okay, the first day of spring, March 20th, 2009. In fact, I was up at 3 a.m. waiting for the clock to turn, and I hit the button. I wanted to sync it up with the exact time of the equinox. And that was close. But our mission, basically, primarily, the first word of our mission statement is educate. Okay? Educate each other and the community at large in techniques of astronomical observing, in periodical classes, clinics, observing events such as star parties. And the reason we mentioned educating each other in the community at large is back in 2008, what became apparent to me and people such as Bill Dellinger, Steve Kruger, was that we had a collection of residents of our communities that had resources, technically and educationally. One of the founding members was a retired professor that ran the primate center in Eugene, Oregon, Henry Fahrenbach. He since moved to Texas to be with his father. But what we did was we created a community for the people that had the resources and people that had the needs. Other members of the community who wanted to learn. So we put them together and created this, I want to call it conspiracy, but that's really not what it is. And then use that collection of people as the core of the astronomy club. Excuse me. And take that to students in the community at large, hold the star parties. So as we took on more members and we train them, they learn, you know, and you can be an amateur astronomer just with a pair of binoculars. And I can even give you a demonstration of how you can do it just by going out at night and looking. And if you observe, you will observe. Okay. So that was the basis of it. And our second order of business in our charter, it's new in the charter, to promote the beauty of the astronomical phenomena that are just overhead in public functions such as star parties and other observing events. Use astronomy in particular and science in general to foster interest among the young in the community. Now, the reason we say that in suit, astronomy is sometimes referred to as a gateway or the gateway drug. I don't like to be fit, but astronomy is a hope to get children in adults and anyone interested in first in astronomy. And then once they get the roots in that, they can expand into science in general. And even beyond that, knowledge, education, arts, music. In other words, escalate and uplift their horizons, expand their horizons. And I taught a class at the Fall Hills Elementary School, the solar system class. And the question was, so it's supposed to be an hour long, worth of 3 hours, because they were so hungry. And beyond, beyond learning science so that you could get a job at the Rivian plant, okay, that wasn't going to be it. And I, for one, did not want to get children to think, okay, I'm going to get a good education so I can get a job, so I can go to Walmart and buy more toys. Okay, we wanted them to be able to enrich their lives, travel, engage in sports, again, art and literature, something like that. So astronomy is this, but roots, it broadens out, it cracks other interests. And then, as Keith Kruger suggested, we added a fourth point, promote the awareness in the community of our precious dark skies and the importance of preserving and improving them and treating them as a natural vital resource that they are. So education is expressed in our charter, practice at every opportunity. And you see there, I say, we use astronomy as a gateway drug. David, you take it up? Take it up with me?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not sure I am. So, since the time of the founding, okay, good. We founded again March of 2009, and we started having several star parties and other events, what we call public outreach. Okay. And why do we do it? We had a star party at the Flatiron community back in September 1st, 2018. And one lady, after looking through the telescope, she had tears in her eyes. She had never looked through the telescope. She never saw a planet, the moon, through the telescope. She was in tears, so I asked her, "Well, you should come up before we learn about star parties." He said, "I don't know what to call it." Well, that broke my heart. And the numbers. That's why we do it. It's about kids, but also people who sweat every day, worry about those things. And this gives them an outlet, break away from all those activities that are so necessary. Okay. Another view that we have is in terms of well, the other thing that happens at Star Party, especially the one at the Flatiron Park, was that they got a vivid example of what light pollution was. In fact, we operate primarily out of Los Angeles State Health. It's like a marvelous facility for us. But the sky glow to the east is ever present. that we try to point our telescopes, I mean, to the west. We try to aim our telescopes to the east. In fact, when I photograph from my phone, thought of that aura, my telescope tracks an object. When I get up about there, I never mind. Go to another place. Okay. Let's see. Now, what's in store for the future? This is very aspirational. But a number of us grew up in cities that had museums and libraries and planetariums. There's nothing like that in the Golden Canyon that has yet today. I, for one, would like to see the Arizona Science Center develop an annex in this area. They could call it their dark sky community. Because, you know, they're right there on 7th Street. They don't have any dark skies. Although I work with the planetarium downtown Pittsburgh, and they had a telescope under a roll-off roof. When I worked there, I would have to go up, pull this chain and roll the roof back. And we get a view of, well, even the sun, shoulder, or projected over the screen. But I remember seeing Saturn the first time like that. So I really think a dark sky annex, and I started to talk to them a long time years ago, we can go anywhere, but I'm feeling even more enthused about the idea. And now, with something like that, that'll attract more interest. And if we get this dark sky community designation, we could go to the science center, and say, look, we've got a dark sky. You can have possibly kids and females. Again, an annex, I think, is the appropriate word. So I think what we'll do is just email a lot of let's see.
I'll help you with that. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
And I'm afraid our time is up. We're very close. But thank you so much for giving us an overview of what you've been doing. Without people like you and Keith Kruger, whom you mentioned, we wouldn't have been able to start where we could with this application, because we needed to show that there is an existing dark sky ethic in the area. And we can show this because of people like Bill, of people like Keith Kruger, who couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately. He's the IDA delegate for Pinal County, who happens to live in Gold Canyon. So it's going to happen, and there is a future. But I'd like to invite you to check out the Superstition Mountain Astronomical League. Bill is quite nicely represented on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, check them out, or just look them up. Look up as Superstition Mountain Astronomical League. Okay. Another group on Facebook that I'd like to recommend is one that doesn't belong to us. Somebody started it, and I just want to promote it because I'm also going to post a lot of dark sky stuff in there. It's called Gold Canyon Dark Sky AZ. Look it up, everybody. It's a great group. Right now has around 40 members. I'd like to see this grow so that we can show to the IDA that, hey, there's a lot of interest here, right? So the more people do this, the better. But thank you very much, Bill. I just want to give you a hand for Great, and let's go to star parties, everyone. He does great star parties. We've been to the one at the Peralta Park. It was absolutely wonderful, and I can see how somebody would start crying because it is just so beautiful to look through the telescopes and see these planets from close up. It's just awe-inspiring. It's amazing, really. So please visit those things. We're gonna, organize more of that. And I just want to say, I thank your teams for your work. Lots of people have done the work before us. And I want to thank the people from Gold Canyon to actually buy into this. talk to your neighbors, everybody. You know, the better we can communicate about the importance of the dark skies, the more successful our application is going to be, and the more people are going to buy into it, because we have an incredible resource here that needs protected. This is one way to protect it. So let's do that step. Let's take that step and let's make it happen. All right.
Okay.
And I think that's everything I needed to say.
Okay.
Is there
Will be changing. We'll have other vendors coming through as well. There'll be many different complementary sessions of yoga and Tai Chi. There will be some events as well where there will be a small fee attached. So lots of things happening, puzzles that can be exchanged, books to loan out, games to loan out. We were able to put this together on a very, very tight and conservative budget. We did a lot of marketplace shopping and asking people who were on the Nextdoor app to allow us to give them a receipt for a kind donation. And there's more to come, so please love your comments. And if you have any ideas or any interest in maybe sharing with me or with our board of other things that you would like to see happen here, I think that this is just a stepping stone, a start. For us, it is a smaller location, but at least we can be here. So we need to have anything. And so we'll start small, and maybe people will start to realize how well utilized this space can be, and who knows what can happen from there.
Yes. Thank you for all the work you've put in, and this is absolutely wonderful. Nice to meet everybody, you know, so let's do things with this beautiful space.
All right. So unless there's anything else anybody would like to say or do, we'll adjourn the meeting.